Welcome to No Strings Attached, untangling conversations about shady topics. Hosted by Roger Magalhaes, this podcast pulls back the curtain on the window covering industry with expert insights and a splash of Brazilian flair. Whether you're an installer, designer, dealer, or just fed up with crooked blinds, get ready for real tips, industry know-how, and plenty of laughs. Now, let's get untangled.
Hello. Welcome to another show of No Strings Attached. My name is Roger Magalhaes, and I am your host. If this is your first time here, welcome to the show. And if you're a regular listener, welcome back. Today, we are going to talk about an experience that I never lived until I moved to Florida. But before that, I want to remind you that this episode is sponsored by blindsonline.com, a place that you can buy good products at very affordable prices. Perhaps if your price as a dealer might be a little too much to justify for a client, Blinds Online could be a solution. So blindsonline.com, check them out. So today's episode, it starts in Brazil when I was born. I was born in São Paulo, Brazil, a place with 30 million people. Similar to New York City, to give you some content here. Pretty much concrete everywhere, buildings everywhere, almost zero green landscape. So someone like me didn't grow up watching a nice backyard. Unless if you are rich, there's not really much green space in your home down in Brazil. Again, I'm talking the big capital, São Paulo, lots of construction and everything. If you live on the rural areas, if you live on the suburbs, things change a little bit. But to my point, I never dealt with landscaping. I never had to cut grass at my house. Then when I moved to the U.S., I moved to in Florida we call HOA. But if you're not in Florida, it's called a condominium. So a place with multiple people live on the same community, and they have a monthly fee. So this monthly fee covers a lot of things: trash, water, snow removal, and landscaping. So again, we had a nice landscaping all around the complex, but I didn't do a thing either. So every week, the landscape company would come, trim the plants, cut the grass, do that thing. So again, never done anything. Finally, 2023, we moved to Florida. We rented for a little while until we found a place. We bought it, single home, nice backyard. But guess what? Now I need to deal with doing all my maintenance, right? Cutting grass. I won't say snow removal because there's no snow in Florida, but cutting grass, pay for water, pay for trash, put the trash out, all the things that I never done it before because the condo association would take care of all of that. So being Florida, being a humid climate, a lot of rains, so the grass grow really fast, like speed fast. You go to bed, you wake up the next morning and say, how the heck they put all this grass here overnight? Kind of speed. So at first, I did the easy route. I just pay someone to come and cut the grass on a weekly basis. But every time they came, it was $80. So if you do a quick math, adds up really fast, just as fast as the grass grow. So after a little while, maybe a couple months, I said, well, this is really gonna be expensive here. So why don't I cut the grass myself? So I thought. So I'm a big, if we just make a little parenthesis here, I'm a big fan of great products. Whatever I buy, I try to buy the best all the time. So as an installer, for my tools, everything is Milwaukee. It's a great brand. I'm not really doing any promotion, any commercial for them here. It's just the way they are. They are a really solid tool manufacturing company, and everything interchanges. So, you can swap batteries from one equipment to another. It just works well. So my first thought, obviously, was to buy a lawnmower from Milwaukee. So I went to Home Depot, and damn, $1,000 for a grass cutter. And I said, Jesus, as much as I love, technology, good quality, tools that last forever, it's kind of hard to justify these. So, plus, is not a tool that I'm going to make money off of it, like my drills, my saws that I use for my business. So even harder to justify plunk $1,000. So went home and kind of just wondering if it really makes sense or not. So then I started doing the math. Then I went to Walmart, and yes, so don't judge me here. So I went to Walmart and I saw a lawnmower for $250. And then you may gonna say, Roger, it's a fourth of the price. It must be a junk piece. And I may agree with you on that, because price perception give you the idea. But I said, you know what? I pay $80 a week for a guy to come and cut. This is $250, probably like three times that the guy come here already pay off for my lawnmower. So I went ahead and I bought this lawnmower. Came with a battery. This is an electrical version of it, not the gas, the electrical option. I said, even if he only works for 4 times, it's already paid off. Plus, I can do a little exercise, walking, listen to some podcasts, perhaps gets a 10. So 3 benefits. I thought it was worth it. So I went ahead, I bought it, I brought it home, and I used it. I'll be honest with you, I not even know how many times I have used it so far, way past the 4 number of cuts to just break even. So here's my point. Even if it breaks now, I already on top of the game because it's paid off. If we bring this experience into your business, obviously this is more or less window treatments, but you can put your business, no matter what kind of business you have, and find some parallels here. So in the window treatments especially, what we sell is expensive. We need to be honest here. You come to a house, the house has 10, 15 windows, $300, $400, $700 per window times 10, 15. Adds up really quick. So sometimes, I'm going to say actually almost every time, people get a sticker shock. Like, whoa, what? 10, 15 grand for window shades? That's insane. In a way, it is, because people are not used to these kind of prices. And honestly, people don't really pay attention to their shades unless they are suffering somehow, too much light coming in, too much heat coming in, privacy issues. Then they start putting some thoughts into window treatments. And then they realize they are expensive. But here's my point. I spend a lot of money on the tools that I use all the time. So it justifies to spend the extra money. Now, cutting grass is something that I do every other week. So I'm not a landscape company, let's put it this way. So I don't need to spend that kind of money. So bringing back to window treatments, perhaps a way to overcome some resistance from your clients. You may say, Mrs. Jones, how about we do the premium shades for the living room or for the family room where you entertain? Do the premium shades for your master bedroom that you're going to use every night. But do the budget version. Do something more affordable in the guest bedroom, in the laundry, in the mudroom. The windows that you're not going to use as much. Unless, of course, you try to impress your brother-in-law and then you want to go over the top and perhaps have him more often than you really want it at the house. Otherwise, mixing great products in some areas, budget products in other areas, might give you an edge. So this is my message for today. Perhaps doesn't have to be, all in like I used to think. And perhaps you need to be a little more open to possibilities, and perhaps the experience not going to be as bad as you thought. Switch business, put your line of work into this mix, and I'm sure you can find ways to make more affordable. Perhaps you give option A, option B, option C to your clients, close more sales, acquire more clients, and life is good. This is the message for today. I actually did write a blog about that. I'm going to leave the link below. Also, I always welcome your comments, emails, suggestions. I read them all. Leave them here as well. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for being here, and I'll talk to you later. Take care.
That's a wrap for this episode of No Strings Attached, untangling conversations about shady topics. If you enjoyed today's discussion, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with fellow industry pros and window treatment enthusiasts. For more expert insights, follow Roger on social media and visit Shades in Place at www.shadesinplace.com. Thanks for listening. Until next time, keep your shades stylish and your conversations shady.